This is a tale about how a simple act of kindness can lead to the greatest of fortunes, proving that a generous heart is the truest treasure. In a quiet village, there lived a man with 3 sons. The 2 eldest, Ethan and Caleb, were considered sharp and capable. The youngest, Leo, was gentle and unassuming, often overlooked and teased by everyone for his simple, trusting nature. One day, Ethan, the eldest, decided to go into the forest to chop firewood. Before he left, his mother packed him a basket with freshly baked, sweet cakes and a bottle of fine wine, so he wouldn't go hungry or thirsty. As Ethan stepped into the woods, a weathered old man with kind, gray eyes greeted him. "Good day, young man," he said softly. "Could you spare a small piece of your cake and a sip of your wine? I am terribly hungry and thirsty." But Ethan scoffed. "Share my cake and wine with you? If I did that, I'd have less for myself. Go find your own food." He brushed past the old man and went deeper into the forest. Ethan raised his axe to strike a large tree, but on his very first swing he misjudged the angle. The axe glanced off the bark and struck his own arm, forcing him to hurry home in pain. This misfortune was the quiet consequence of his selfishness. The next day, the second son, Caleb, set out to try his luck. His mother also gave him a generous meal of cake and wine. Deep in the woods, the same old man appeared and made the same polite request. Caleb, just as arrogant as his brother, replied rudely, "Whatever I give you, I lose for myself. Be on your way." He left the old man standing alone. His punishment came swiftly. With only his second swing of the axe, he struck his own leg so badly that he had to be carried home. Finally, Leo went to his father. "Father, please let me go and cut wood." His father was hesitant. "Your brothers, who are much cleverer, have already been hurt. What chance do you have?" But Leo pleaded so earnestly that his father eventually agreed, saying, "Go then. You will have to learn your lesson the hard way." His mother, having used the good flour on her other sons, gave him a simple, dense cake made with water and baked in the ashes of the hearth, along with a bottle of sour beer. When Leo entered the forest, the same little old man greeted him. "Young man, please share a little of your meal with me. I am so hungry and thirsty." Leo smiled warmly. "Of course," he replied. "All I have is this ash-baked cake and some sour beer, but you are most welcome to it. Let us sit and share it together." They sat down, and as Leo opened his humble basket, a marvel occurred. The coarse ash cake transformed into a beautiful, golden pastry, and the sour beer turned into the most delicious, sparkling wine. After they had eaten and drunk their fill, the old man said, "Because you have a kind heart and willingly shared what little you had, I will grant you good fortune. See that old tree over there, cut it down, and you will find something wonderful at its roots." With a nod, the old man vanished. Leo did as he was told and chopped down the tree. There, nestled among the roots, was a goose with feathers of pure, shimmering gold. He carefully picked it up and decided to spend the night at a nearby inn before heading home. The innkeeper had 3 daughters who were immediately captivated by the magnificent bird. Their eyes filled with greed as they plotted to steal one of its golden feathers. The eldest daughter, Olivia, thought, "I will surely find a moment to pluck just one." When Leo left the room, she crept up to the goose and grabbed its wing. But as she touched it, her fingers became stuck fast, and she could not pull away. Shortly after, the second sister, Bella, came in, intending to do the same. She saw her sister by the goose and touched her shoulder to move her aside, but instantly her hand was stuck to Olivia. Finally, the third sister, Chloe, arrived with the same plan. "Stay away!" The other 2 shrieked, but Chloe, not understanding, reached out and touched Bella. In that moment, she too was trapped, stuck to her sisters. The 3 of them had to spend the entire night uncomfortably attached to each other and the golden goose. The next morning, Leo took his goose under his arm and set off, completely unconcerned about the 3 girls trailing helplessly behind him. They were forced to run to keep up as he walked, a strange procession stumbling through the fields. Along the road, they met the town preacher. "For shame!" he cried, seeing the girls chasing after the young man. "You brazen girls, have you no decency?" He grabbed the youngest, Chloe, to pull her back, but the moment his hand touched her, he too was stuck fast and had to join the frantic jog. A moment later, the preacher's assistant saw the commotion. "Master Preacher, where are you rushing to? The baby's christening is today." He ran and grabbed the preacher's rope, and he too was caught in the magical chain. Now there were 5 people running behind Leo and his goose. Soon, 2 farmers returning from the fields saw the bizarre sight. The preacher called out to them for help, but as soon as they touched the assistant to free him, they also became stuck. The simple boy, Leo, now led a train of 7 captive people. After a long journey, they arrived at a city ruled by a king whose daughter, Princess Seraphina, was afflicted with a deep melancholy. She had not laughed in years, and the king had declared that any man who could make her laugh would win her hand in marriage. When Leo heard of this, he walked his strange procession right past the castle balcony where the princess was sitting. The sight of the 3 greedy sisters, the flustered preacher, his panicking assistant, and the 2 confused farmers all stuck together and hopping along behind a golden goose was so utterly ridiculous that Princess Seraphina burst into a fit of laughter. It was a joyous, beautiful sound that echoed through the castle, and she could not stop. Leo went before the king and, as promised, claimed the princess as his bride. The king, however, was not pleased at the idea of having a simple country boy as a son-in-law. He tried to back out of his promise and set a new challenge. "Before you can marry my daughter," he said, "you must bring me a man who can drink the entire royal wine cellar dry." Leo remembered the old man and returned to the forest. There, on the very spot where he had found the goose, sat a man with a look of utter misery. "What troubles you?" Leo asked. "Oh," the man groaned, "I suffer from a thirst so terrible that nothing can quench it. I have already drunk a whole barrel of wine, but it was like a single drop on a hot stone." "I can help you," Leo exclaimed. He led the man to the king's cellar. The thirsty man began to drink, cask after cask, and before the day was over, the entire cellar was empty. Leo returned to claim his bride, but the king, still annoyed, set a second task. "Find me a man who can eat a mountain of bread." Leo went back to the forest and found another man, this one cinching his belt tightly around his waist and wincing in pain. "I have eaten an entire bakery's worth of bread," he cried, "but my stomach feels so empty I must tie it tight, or I fear I will die of hunger." Filled with joy, Leo led him to the king's court, where all the flour in the kingdom had been baked into a giant mountain of bread. The hungry man started to eat, and by evening, the entire mountain had vanished. Leo demanded his wife for a 3rd time. The king, running out of ideas, made one final, impossible demand. "Bring me a ship that can travel on land as well as on sea. Do this, and you shall marry my daughter without another word." Leo went to the forest one last time and found the kind old man waiting for him. "I have helped you with the eater and the drinker," the man said with a smile, "and I will give you the ship as well, all because you were good to me when you thought I was poor and hungry." He gave Leo a magnificent ship that glided over fields as smoothly as it sailed across the ocean. When the king saw the incredible vessel, he knew he could no longer refuse. The wedding was celebrated throughout the kingdom. When the old king passed away, Leo inherited the throne and ruled with his beloved wife. And so, the young man everyone had once called simple ruled with the same kindness that had started his incredible journey, proving that a generous heart holds more wealth than all the gold in the world.